wolves sometimes enter human towns when the going gets tough. But what happens when a pack of over 300 wolves enter a small Russian town?
Where in Siberia, they have these super packs. They would get together because they were starving.
It sends the villagers panicking and willing to go through drastic means to control the wolf population. But what were these wolves after? And why were they moving in large groups? Was something after them?
A super pack is when more than two packs join together and move as a unit.
Let's look into the largest wolf pack ever recorded in history and exactly what it was after. Super pack. In the winter of 2010 into 2011, a small town in Russia called Verkhoyansk started to experience what would be considered a strange phenomena. We all know how strong horses are to the point where snake antivenom is made from them. However, they were dying at an alarming rate of 30 in 4 days. Their owners were worried because while wolves were not abnormal to see, the amount of deaths was suspicious. Upon further investigation, it was found that a pack of 400 wolves were moving together and killing these horses. The average wolf pack can range from anywhere between 2 to 12 wolves, although the standard is typically 6 to 7 wolves. But when a pack of 400 wolves showed up in this small Russian town, the residents knew something was wrong, and it was going to be hard to keep them under control. They were going from farmland to forests to kill whatever large hoofed animal they could find, and it was making the residents of the town live in fear. But controlling a large pack of 400 wolves must have been no easy job. So how did these intelligent animals coordinate themselves before getting obliterated? The alpha. The alpha of the wolf pack is usually a big male wolf that intimidates every member of the pack. His only duty is to make sure every other wolf follows his lead and doesn't question him, and the only way he could achieve that was through fear. He has everybody answering to him with his tail facing upward to exert dominance. The alpha walked behind the pack to ensure no one was left behind. He made everyone feel safe by showing that he was confident and sure of where he was leading the pack. Most times, the alpha is able to easily become a lone wolf because they are able to survive on their own, as they are sometimes the most willing to face danger amongst the other wolves. However, from time to time, the other male wolves in the pack feel like they are up to the task and decide to see if they can become the new alpha, which has led to new scientific discoveries to better explain how the alpha works. Science reveals more about the alpha. Everything we know about the alpha of wolf packs is based on the behavior of captive animals. Biologists have recently revealed that the reason why alphas are more common amongst captive wolves is because zoologists lump together different adult wolves from different packs, expecting them to coexist peacefully. However, these adults don't know themselves, so there is a fear of attack, which makes them act and try to protect themselves by gaining control of the group. For wolves in the wild, packs consist of families which are led by the breeding male and female. Every other member of the pack defers to the male and also to the female. Despite this being the normal dynamic of many wolf packs, it wasn't the case for the super pack. With a pack as large as the super pack, there were many different wolf families that made it up. So there was always a struggle for who would be the next alpha from time to time. So how did the pack keep things in order whenever this happened? Loyalty. One of the many characteristics of wolves is that they are incredibly loyal to each other. Once there is an alpha, every other member of the pack stays loyal to him for as long as possible, and they only go against him when he is getting old or turning into a tyrant. While tyranny is not alien to wolf packs, there are actually limits to how much they would endure from an alpha before turning their backs. For the super pack, the alpha had over 300 wolves answering to him, so a reign of tyranny was inevitable. However, there were other wolves who felt like they were also up to the task of leading the group, so they would sometimes stage a coup and try to overthrow the leader. If the alpha is left with just his contender, there is a likelihood of him losing the fight. So when the contender attacks the alpha, other males in the group step in and fight the contender off. If the contender is strong enough to kill the alpha, then he is allowed to step in as the leader until he is overthrown. But if he is not, he is dealt with severely and kicked out of the group. While lone wolves exist, it is harder for an injured lone wolf to live alone. Going out with bruises and broken bones to find food can make the outcast wolf become prey for other animals or die of starvation. So they sometimes become repentant and want to go back to the group, but they are once again sent out. Their lack of loyalty to the alpha makes them miserable and solely responsible for their safety. No other wolf can step in to help them. If they are lucky, food miraculously falls into their hands, but most times, they end up starving to death or dying from their injuries. Despite the level of loyalty in wolf packs, there have been instances of wolves completely turning their backs on the alphas. Druid pack in Yellowstone. In the late 1990s, the United States authorities found out that their reindeer population was at risk of extinction due to excessive hunting. So to combat the problem, they captured the rest and moved them to Yellowstone Park, which is the largest national park in the world. The plan was to give them their own space so they could reproduce. Soon enough, they had started growing at an alarming rate, and it was impossible to keep things under control. To get things in order, a wolf pack called the Druid Peak Pack was created. The wolves were named by numbers. So wolves 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42 were captured in Fort St. John, British Columbia, before being transported to an acclimation park and finally, the Yellowstone Park. The officials of the park were hoping the wolves would be able to keep things under control, and soon enough, drama ensued. It all started when another wolf called Wolf 31, a yearling male, set a journey from the nearby Chief Joseph Pack and decided to go to Yellowstone Park. He was allowed to join the group without pushback, and he seemed to respect his spot in the group. But there was a ruthless wolf in the group, which was Wolf 40, an offspring of Wolf 38 and 39, the alpha male and female. The alpha female of the group, Wolf 39, left to pursue her own thing as a lone wolf, but it was obvious that she was sent out by her daughter, Wolf 40. This led to Wolf 40 becoming the new alpha female of the group, and the experience was terrible for the other female wolves in the group. She was constantly bullying them and abusing her power, making them live in constant fear of her. Things then took a turn for the worse when wolves 31 and 38 were killed by hunters. They were the only males in the pack, and with them gone, it meant they had to answer to Wolf 40. Her tyrannical reign started immediately. A new alpha male called Wolf 21 was dispersed to the pack, but it didn't stop Wolf 40 from doing whatever she liked. In November of 1997, Wolf 39 briefly reunited with the pack and left again after a short while, but this time, her second daughter, Wolf 41, left with her. 41 and 42 had already given birth to some pup, but 40 got nothing. After 41 left with the mother, 42 became the focus of all of 40's bullying. She was nicknamed Cinderella because of everything she was enduring at her sister's hands. 42 created a small den for herself to give birth in 1998, and every single pup died. 40 then saw that as an opportunity to attack her sister, as she also didn't give birth to pups of her own. It was a nasty fight with no winners. Unable to keep letting this slide, 42 decided to retaliate in the year 2000. She and other adult females of the group attacked Wolf 40 and killed her. They didn't kick her out of the pack because there was a possibility of her coming back to wreak havoc. They just got rid of her, and Wolf 42 became the new alpha of the group. With Wolf 40 gone, 3 females in the group, including 42, gave birth to 3 litters, and 20 out of 21 survived. It turned out that the tension caused by the presence of Wolf 40 made it hard for the other females to procreate. But this is a perfect example to show how loyalty can sometimes be thrown out the window in wolf packs when they are trying to protect their interests. How the super pack hunts. Now let's go back to the super pack and how they approach hunting. Since most wolf packs consist of 6 to 7 wolves, it can be daunting for 400 wolves to go hunting together, as one mishap can cause confusion and they may end up turning on each other. So their hunting behavior had to be meticulous and intentional. Wolves are not like other wild animals like mountain lions when it comes to hunting. They are very calculative and only attack when they are sure they will get the prize, They don't rely on the element of surprise, as most times their prey may be able to see them coming. Starting off their hunt, they always make sure to take note of the environment. They know that a wide open plain would favor ungulates who would be able to outrun the fastest wolf in that condition. But in a snowy field, the wolf is at an advantage as their paws are adapted to work like snowshoes and lift the snow as they go. In this terrain, they know their meal would be a hoofed animal who can't easily navigate the snow. So once their environment is set, they pick a target. They pick their target based on which animal is the slowest, sickest, or laziest to run. Based on Dr. Gordon Haber, the late wolf biologist, he studied how wolves hunted caribous in Alaska. The wolves would stay at a distance observing the caribou, and when the prey moved, they would move with them just to incite panic in the group. In a bid to not be left behind, the rearmost caribou tries to run to the middle of the herd, but before he is able to get there, he stumbles in the snow, making the hunt short and easy. The wolves then approach it and snap the neck off. But when the weather is drier, they lure the caribou to a riverbed so that they stumble against the stones. When they fall, it takes a while for them to get up, and that is what the wolves use to their advantage. So they actually pay attention to many different factors when hunting. Since the super pack is a large group of around 400, they don't all go hunting, but rather delegate duties. For the younger wolves, their only duty is to stand on the sidelines and watch what the adults are doing. While young wolves are strong, they may not be as strong as the preys, so it's safer to observe. The alpha females of the group are tasked with confusing and wearing out the prey. They do this by blocking all possible exits for the prey and dashing left and right to make sure there is no possible route for them to pass. Slower, larger males can attack big prey more aggressively and quickly. However, wolves are less likely to kill their prey because those prey die of shock, blood loss, or muscle damage. So it's very important for them to tire out their prey before they are able to do anything. In some cases, they bite onto the nose of their victims and hold on tight, but it still takes a while for the prey to give up. Wolves only have feet to run and a jaw to feed, and while they are strong, their prey can sometimes be strong enough to break their jaw with just one kick. When they attack as a pack, they are able to really defend themselves, hence their aggressive nature. It is easier for them to wear out their prey before attacking so they don't risk getting injuries. It's very easy to confuse the role of the alpha male of the super pack. There is a misconception that the alpha male tells every member of the pack exactly what to do during a hunt. But that is quite the contrary. The primary duty of the alpha male is to spot the target, and the rest jump in as they are already aware of their abilities and they know where to fit in. They are able to coordinate themselves better than some human groups, but that is a story for another day. How do lone wolves hunt? For wolves that are not part of any pack like the super pack, their hunting technique is a bit similar to that of packs. Since lone wolves don't have partners to help them, they have to rely on their ability to spot a weak target. So they start hunting by finding a herd singling out the weakest one. They run around in circles confusing their prey, and because the other members of the herd are in constant fear of a predator, they unconsciously create space for that to happen. When they have singled out their prey, they latch onto it like their life depends on it, because it does. And in a matter of minutes, the prey hits the ground and the lone wolf takes its price. But lone wolves don't always go after big prey like the caribou. They typically go after rabbits and beavers since they are smaller and easy to get in a corner. Lone wolves don't need to expend as much energy on these smaller animals, so it's a safer bet for them. The end of the super pack. After the 400 wolves of the super pack started terrorizing the people of Verkhoyansk, the town made a team of 24 hunters. Their duty was to find as many wolves as they could and kill them. The prize was 210 euros per wolf, making it a paid opportunity. At the time, getting paid that much to kill one wolf was impressive, so all the hunters brought their A-game to the scene. Now, it seems like an easy task when you think of a group of 400 wolves gathered. They take over any horizon they pass through, so you can simply shoot, and it will definitely hit one of them. However, that is not the case with predators. Wolves are highly intelligent and know how to move stealthily. In addition to their speed, they are able to hide well. so it was not an easy job for the hunters. After a long time of trying to get the wolves under control, a hunter finally caught one of the wolves, giving the rest motivation to keep on fighting. Part of the town's resolution was to add more people to the team of hunters and also provide a helicopter for them to attack during the day. It wasn't going to be an easy task, but the town had to work fast because the death of 30 horses in 4 days was no joke. It was unusual for wolves to gather in their numbers to that extent, but desperate times call for desperate measures. The harsh Siberian winter at the time had killed most of the wolves' actual prey, which were rabbits and beavers, so they had to find their next available target, which were horses since they are highly nutritious. But most importantly, they had to work together, which is why different packs came together to form the 400 wolf pack. Speaking of working together, this is not the first time that wolves from different packs have worked together for a common goal. The Wolf War. During World War I, it is rumored that German and Russian forces had to call a temporary ceasefire to fight against wolves that were hunting their soldiers and civilians. What had happened was that due to the war, many smaller animals were killed as an aftermath. The explosions and gunshots had made many smaller animals unable to feed, leading to starvation, and some had died because of the crisis. With their food source gone, the wolves started migrating to a small village in Germany, and on their way, they found dead soldiers, whom they ate out of desperation. After eating these soldiers, they developed a taste for human flesh, which made them find their way to the battlefield and feast on wounded soldiers. The German and Russian soldiers who were fighting had to call a ceasefire to focus all their war efforts on the wolves. However, it turns out that the story didn't exactly go the way many people tell it. Everything started in 1917, when some locals in Berlin noticed that a pack of wolves were infiltrating the wall of Germany. They reported that the wolves were migrating because the war had displaced them and rendered them homeless. These wolves found their ways into rural villages and started hunting cattle, sheep, calves, and goats. On one occasion, they also hunted 2 children, which may have further elevated the fear of the locals. While this was going on, the German and Russian were having a skirmish, and in the middle of the fight, the large pack of wolves started approaching the battlefield to hunt wounded soldiers. Instinctively, both German and Russian soldiers started to attack the wolves, throwing grenades and firing at them in a bid to disperse the herd. During the process, they killed around 50 wolves, and the rest scampered away. Although they didn't officially call a ceasefire, the unity they experienced made the battlefield seem more peaceful than usual, even if the sound of gunshots and grenades kept ringing out. In a battle of life and death, enemies are more likely to work together to protect themselves against a common enemy, and in this case, it was the wolves. With the end of the Super Pack, let's take a look back at the Druid Pack and how they came to an end. The end of the Druid Pack. Wolf packs most times work like an endless group. When the alpha male dies, another steps in and continues from where he stopped. The same happens with the alpha female. But with the Druid Pack, although they had that endless line going, they were nearly obliterated and sent into extinction. In the fall of 2002, the Druid Pack became the largest wolf pack ever documented with 37 wolves. But with a pack that big, it was bound to break up, and 3 new packs called Agate Creek, Geode Creek, and Slough Creek were formed. Unlike the Super Pack that merged intentionally to hunt better, the Druid Pack was made of families that grew with each other, so there wasn't really a lot of incentive to remain together, making different males want to start their own pack and become alpha of their respective groups. With all these new groups gone, they were back to the original arrangement of Wolf 42 being the alpha female, and Wolf 21 remaining the long-term alpha male. A new lone wolf joined. He was Wolf 302, and after a short while, he was named Casanova. Casanova was a ladies' man, and as soon as he joined the group, he was going from female to female and making pups with them. Apart from the pups that were there when he arrived, many of the new ones were his offspring. He was a lover and stayed loyal to the original alpha male 21. The Druids were able to grow back from 11 to 17, but in 2004, they were attacked by a rival wolf pack. They took a big hit as Wolf 42 were killed during the fight. After Wolf 42's body was found in the summer, the Slough Creek started spending more time within the Druid turf. After a year of studying the area again, there was a full-blown war between the Slough and Druids, leading to ousting of the Druid pack, who were the original inhabitants of the Lamar Valley. Every single pup died during the battle, and 2 alpha females also lost their lives. The pack was reduced to 4, and they had to find a way to survive. Casanova and the new alpha male, 408, moved to Cache Creek with the remaining 2 alpha females. It was a terrible time for the pack, but luck soon shone on their side as the alpha females started to breed again and produced 8 surviving pups. With a new pack, the remaining Druid members pushed back against the Slough Creek, who had also suffered their own loss. They were attacked by a rival wolf pack and lost some of their best members, so when the Druids attacked, it was a great win. The Druid pack took their home back and have since remained there, keeping the reindeer population in check. Crystal Creek Pack. Apart from the Super Pack and Druid Pack, another large wolf pack is the Crystal Creek Pack, also situated in the Yellowstone National Park. They consist of 20 wolves and are believed to be the oldest wolf pack in Yellowstone. They were there before the Druid Pack, but as the Druids came, they sent them out, and the alpha female called 5F and the male called 6M had to start a new journey in the Pelican Valley. But just like when the Druids were sent out, the Crystal Creek Pack didn't give up and instead started breeding again. In the Pelican Valley, elks are abundant, but during the winter, they migrate from high altitudes to lower elevations. With their major food source, the Crystal Creek Park had to find alternative methods to get food, so their new target became bison. They were the first wolf pack in the Yellowstone National Park to hunt bison, and it was impressive because bison are more formidable than elk, but they survived that winter off of them. By 2014, the popular 1155M male was born, and he, alongside his brothers 1014M and 1015M, decided to go on a journey to join another pack called the Wapiti Lake Pack. As a trio, they displaced the aging alpha male of the new pack and started a new reign in the group. In 2018, they left their home again to look for better elk hunting opportunities and entered the territory of the rival 8 Mile Pack. As expected, a battle ensued, and they killed the alpha male and many other males in the pack. 1115M remained within their territory, while one of his brothers took over as alpha male. During breeding season in 2021, 1115M went beyond the boundaries of Yellowstone in search of a mate, and that was where he was met with an unfortunate fate. It was Montana State's wolf trophy hunting season, and no wolf was safe. As 1115 continued his journey, he fell into a steel-jawed leg-hold trap, which has been outlawed in over 100 countries, but only some states in the United States have implemented the law. As 1115 struggled to get out of the trap sunk deeper into his limb, causing immense pain until he was found by the newly elected governor of Montana at the time. Despite wearing a radio collar that showed that the wolf was part of a scientific research at Yellowstone National Park, the governor killed him and said his plan was to harvest the wolf and hang it on his wall. Many activists have since been kicking against wolf hunting. Wolves move in packs to keep themselves safe and get more food. But a pack of 400 was never planned for, and while the villagers were able to kill a lump sum, they were not able to completely get rid of the super pack. Do you have any stories of large wolf packs? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, like, and share.